Hi everyone. Today we're going to be taking you through chapter 1 of the textbook, which is motivation, engagement, interests, and attitudes. And we're just going to be going through and talking about the different strategies that we found to be really useful for a future classroom and strategies that we might want to use ourselves.
The first strategy we found is called Item of the Week. This strategy is when a student finds a good book they can read, good book, they can present it to the class through Item of the Week. Some guidelines for Item of the Week are sharing the book for 60 to 90 seconds in front of the whole classroom. The student will include the title and author when sharing it, describe the interest the student has in it, have the student not give away the ending, and pretend like the student is on TV, like on a news telecast. Students will sign up for the talk to be in front of the class. However, before the 3 to 5 students share, they'll conference with the teacher to tell her what they will say during the book talk. After the students share, they will have the class vote on their favorite. This is when the reaction sheet comes into play. The reaction sheet is what the students will fill out when they are listening to these book talks. The reaction sheet includes the book title, the author of the book, the student's reaction, and their rating of the book. Some strategy reinforcement activities that the book has provided is to help students find books that interest them and they're not pressured to read out loud from the class. This will be the best presentations for the students. As a teacher, we should try to link the books to the community and what they involve in outside of school so they're more interested in it as well. We can also provide a variety of reading materials from poems to even movies or any type of literacy that a student can present on. If possible, invite authors into the classroom from local books that they can share and relate to and collaborate with. The next strategy we have chosen is the Purposes of Literacy and Life Survey. This activity is to show students what the purposes of literacy are in the real life, in the real world. First, we can use a teacher example as the example to show what the class will be doing. So you can share a list of readings that you have read in one list and explain the purpose in reading in your life and what it means to you. So next, you'll give the students the purpose of reading worksheet and have them fill in what books they read over the weekend. They will then explain what the purpose of the reading was on the worksheet. When they get back to school, they will share with a group and talk about what they read and the purposes they found in the reading. After the class shares into groups, the class will come together and share as one whole group and make one master list to show what purposes of reading are with different poems, books, and every other type of literacy that a student can think of. The survey that students will fill out while they're reading their book. The survey includes the time, the student name, the type of the material, a book, a movie, poem, or anything else they can think of with literacy, and the purpose of the literacy item they find in their life. This should be filled out while reading each book at home and bring back to class discussion. Some reinforcement activities may include telling students that all people set all different goals, and it's okay that goals are different. Students will have different reading levels and have different goals in how many books they read, and that's okay. Tell students if they find a really good book, they may forget they're reading for a purpose in the first place. This is a good thing because we'll get students involved in reading and get them excited to read what they like. Have students make daily goals for some reinforcement activities, maybe telling students that all people have different goals and set different goals, and that's okay. Every student will read amount differently and read a different level, and that is okay for them to know. Tell students that if they really enjoy a book, they may get lost in the book and forget they're reading for a purpose. This is a good thing because it will increase students' interest in books and have them read more often. Have students make daily reading goals for themselves, but also daily reading goals for the semester or quarter as well, so they have something to work towards. Also ask students what they want to learn and read at the beginning of the year. Once we find this out, we can prepare materials and have students more interested in what they say and what they read at home and in the classroom. This will make students want to read more as well.
Our next strategy is the thumbs up or thumbs down strategy. And what really drew me to this strategy initially is just the graphic that was provided to go along with this strategy in the textbook. So to introduce this strategy, you are essentially telling students that their opinion of what they read matters. So this strategy really validates readers and yeah, just like it said before, that their opinion matters and it's important for students to feel like they have a voice in the classroom. So that's one of the reasons why I really loved the strategy when I read about it. And then the purpose of this strategy is it just allows for students to share their view with others in the class of what they read. And so after students do a reading, whether it's an article, a poem, a chaptered book that they read, a picture book, really anything, you essentially get to let them choose if it was a thumbs up experience or a thumbs down experience. So whichever one the students identify with most, that's the one that they're going to fill out. And then after they fill out the thumbs up or the thumbs down, they will be able to either share out with a partner, share out with the class, or just share out with the teacher, depending on what it is the teacher wants to do. A reading attitude survey is another strategy that we chose from this chapter. The purpose of this strategy is just to find out how students actually feel about reading, and it goes kind of into more specifics, more than just do you like to read, yes or no. And when giving the survey to students, it's really important to emphasize that there's no right or wrong answer, because you want students to answer truthfully. If they don't like reading, you want to know that. Or if reading makes them feel really overwhelmed, you want to know that. You don't want students to feel like they have to express that they love reading or that they're really good at reading. And then surveys will look different based on the age group or the grade level that you're working with. And so I provided an example that the textbook gave of a graphic reading attitude survey that you can give to more of the elementary level. And it is really like giving that graphic visual support to learners of how each question makes them feel. So like, how do you feel about reading? And they can choose a graphic that is really excited or really sad or really angry. And it's just easier for them to identify how they feel about the question. And then if you're giving surveys to older students, like maybe upper elementary, middle school, high school, then it is going to be a lot less of the visuals and more of just like asking the question and then asking them to either write their answer or rate their answer on how they feel.
The article that we found discusses the relationship between the social environment in the classroom and students' motivation and engagement during school. So the main strategy that it talks about is promoting collaboration between students. So that's allowing students to discuss work with their classmates, letting students ask other students questions, encouraging students to share their ideas with each other, and allowing students to get to know each other, as well as encouraging students to be helpful with one another's work. Promoting group work among students gets them more involved in the class discussion and what's going on in class without them having to speak in front of the whole class.